What's good? It is the Lucky Lefty podcast brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you do it.
Responsibly.
You got to do it
And
responsibly.
if I am a reflection of him, then I must be fly. Because if you like, the shine so bright, I wouldn't lie.
I'm not hearing the music. Is it me?
I remember the very first
Lucky
day
Lefty
that I saw
podcast.
you.
Back at it.
I found myself
FB2 Mike, Sean Davis, Malik Zaire 8. Lucky Lefty podcast on YouTube. Go give us a follow. Give us a thumbs up. Helps with the views. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Players only. Post-game show coming soon. Audio, edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Tap in with us. And don't forget, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. We are committed to being the home of the misguided passion and forever committed to making sure we spin it different. Left, we got some things to talk about, bro.
That's right.
We got some things to talk about. We just watched big time upset to jump off the college football year. Florida State, number 10 in the nation. Yep.
We'll see
Go ahead, Left. Go ahead.
Fall of a Michigan team, just like Florida State. Living off of the hype of last year teams will fall quickly in a college football season where it's revenge of the backups, revenge of the guys that nobody knows about, revenge of the teams that have a chance because everything is pretty much even this year.
I'm not jumping in that Uber with you about Michigan comparing it to Florida State, bro.
They'll drop out. Don't worry.
Michigan's 10 times better in the trenches than Florida State.
Alex Orji is no different than DJ Uiagalelei.
I didn't say he was. I'm telling you they're much better in the trenches than Florida State is on both sides of the ball. The most embarrassing thing I saw is that on College Game Day, they literally said Florida State would have the best defensive line in all of the country this year. And I watched them get pushed around for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
This is why you don't trust the analysts, ladies and gentlemen, as I take you behind the scenes. There are very few analysts on TV that actually have the freedom to speak their mind. Very few that have the ability to say what they really believe. Their thoughts, opinions are either bought and paid for by conferences, alignments through TV deals. So when you see analysis,
hey,
I'm just giving you. I'm giving everybody what the truth is, bro.
You know they listening.
I don't care. This is my dude. We own this. We own this. This is mine. I left that arena without turning around. I'm not going back. I know what my purpose in life is.
Okay.
I got my 2 mics. I'm good.
That's right.
I'm good. Now,
always been.
If I need security, you know what I mean? Then I'll just hire security. But other than that,
you might need to. Speaking on the unspoken.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro.
That's right.
Hey, it's very few analysts that aren't bought and paid for. Very few.
Not our guy Emmanuel Acho.
Man. Hey, first of all, let me say this. Manny's a good dude. Manny still does a ton of charitable work on the south side of Chicago. He's a very good dude. Still very much rooted in the Chicago area from his playing days with the Chicago Bears. Now, as an analyst,
because that's what we was talking about, right? Oh, okay. I didn't know he was talking about community guy. But on the
No,
on TV side,
I was just giving the man a shout out. Now you can be bad at your job and still be a good person. I'm just saying.
okay.
So I'm just shouting out the brother saying, yo, salute to the work you do, the philanthropic work you do in the city of Chicago. And it has nothing to do with laziness. See, this is why I laugh when people hear somebody say something like, oh, they're dumb. Dude, how dumb are they when they're cashing a check and following instructions? And as long as the check clears, they really don't care what you say. Matter of fact, the more upset you get, the numbers have shown over the years, the more willing you are to tune in.
It's crazy.
You'll sit and talk crazy and say they suck, but then you'll turn in to see what the next dumb thing they're going to say is. I mean, it's just human nature, bro. It's human nature. And being behind the scenes, honestly, is one of the things that kind of turned me off over the years, bro. Because even as a producer, like I was literally as a producer trained to take two topics and filter the same two topics for a 4-hour show. Literally, we talked about two topics for 4 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, just find 4 ways to talk about the same topic. And it becomes mundane for a creative like me. It's like, nah, I can't continue to do this, bro. I can't. I can't. So, yeah, bro. I just want people to understand what they're looking at, Left. That's all. That's all. That's why we're committed to making sure we spin it different, bro. We don't want to talk about things the same way that everyone else does. We don't want to do that. You know, and it might rub some people the wrong way. But yeah, don't worry your little hearts and heads over what you see from analysts. Because I knew that was tough when they said Florida State is the best defensive line in the country. I was like, oh, we starting off big cap week 0.
Week 0.
Week 0.
Kick off week 1 yet.
Just big cap. Other than DJ being mid, what were your takeaways, Left?
Man, it's good to see college football evolve from you're not seeing basic stuff. You turn on the Nebraska tape when they were great. Now you turn on Georgia Tech tape in 24 and be like, man, I can only imagine how hard it is defensively being able to stop some of this stuff. So it's good to see creativity show. And you're starting to see a lot of players that are pretty much, I don't want to say the same, but a lot of fast kids, fast small kids, tall, lanky kids. I mean, the athleticism has increased and college football is kind of balancing itself out.
It's balancing itself out, but I was amazed, like I said, and shout out to Georgia Tech, who led the conference in rushing last year. They returned 4 starters on the offensive line. If you guys can remember 2 weeks ago, wait a minute, I don't want to tap myself. Let me see if I can reach my own back. Yes, I can. Okay. Because there was a certain co-host on Lucky Lefty with Ken Gibbs when we did the ACC preview that said, Florida State needs to watch out for Georgia Tech game 1. Nobody said that. I'm just saying. And I talked about the ability of young Haynes King to make plays off schedule and how it would give them problems. Look, I watched this Georgia Tech team give Georgia a run for their money for 3 quarters. I watched this Georgia Tech team in the first game of last season have Louisville on the ropes. And then just, man, for whatever reason, they just gave up the ghost in the 4th quarter. They returned the core of that same team. Like you said, Left, year 2 in anything that you're trying to get established is very important. And here they are pulling. It definitely will be on the board as one of the biggest upsets of the season throughout the season, without question. So, we're going to talk about how this plays into the Notre Dame schedule, something you've been saying all offseason, Left, that related to when will Riley Leonard get a chance to prove his true worth, what he truly brings to Notre Dame. We thought it was going to be a possible top 10 matchup in November when Florida State came a call in the South Bend.
They might be under 500 in November.
Left, you are really down on those. What did you see about Florida State that just makes you feel like Mike Norvell and the nose won't be able to recover?
I just don't know where they're going to pull points from. DJ's coming from an Oregon State team that was averaging under what, 30 points a game?
Yeah.
Who are you beating in the ACC like that? So
I would think, but I think, kudos to Coach Smith, who's now at Michigan State. Watching him last year, I thought he did a better job getting the most out of DJ. Where I think Mike Norvell tried to fit DJ into what they already do.
Right, and that's the number one mistake with a guy who can't throw the football. Yeah. It looks good when you have a Travis or Jordan Clark or Travis Clark because he's top 5 quarterback. DJ can only do a certain amount of things, so that's not a guy you can throw into something and make it work. That's a guy you got to change the whole formula if you add him. That's a big mistake that I feel like there was a lazy recruitment effort if you seriously thinking about how fits work and not just this is the quote-unquote top guy in the portal.
Yeah, and for me, Left, I really think this points out that the Notre Dame schedule moving forward is going to be very interesting because every year you have games before the season that you think are going to be tough games, big games. Doesn't work out that way, and then all of a sudden you get games that you didn't think would be tough, and then a team like a Louisville jumps up as they did last year and they become tougher. The Duke game, we expected to be not as tough as it ended up being, but we knew coming off the heels, remember our prediction was Duke would be the toughest game of the year coming off the emotion of the Ohio State game. That was how we looked at it. Like, yo, that's just going to be a tough game regardless of who Duke is because of the emotions of the previous week, win or lose. And the way the Ohio State game ended, I think early on, if you go watch that Duke game early on, Left, Notre Dame responded pretty well. They came out, they were able to move the ball. They just didn't capitalize. And Georgia Tech almost made the same mistake. If Haynes King was more accurate in the first half, they would have been up at least 10 points.
That's right.
At least 10 points going into the second half.
But I like what King did. When he didn't have it going in one area, he started running the ball. He wasn't just going to give up on the game and be like, I just don't have it. Hell, I'm going to start running like a running back if I got to. That's a guy that's going to do anything to win. But it goes back to just being year 2. I think DJ's got too much in his head with him not being as skilled. And so he's not going to be the big Samoan that he is and run the ball till it works. Yeah. He'd rather throw it out of bounds and take a chance on hitting the fan than just tucking it and getting 5 because he's huge. Because King, after a while, was like, shit, I'm going to just start scrambling.
Did I miss something? When he came, because you were there when he was coming up in the California ranks. Superb arm. When you just talk about strength. Coming out of high school, he was throwing mid-90s on the baseball diamond. And so you saw his maturation. Did you see this for DJ? Did you think he would be better based upon what you saw in high school while you were out there coaching in California?
No, I definitely didn't. Only because, the factors around DJ had him thinking that, being able to throw it 100 yards is the key, but he never really locked in on what it took to get better when it mattered. And then, you always in a system where you were in the best system. You at Bosco, number 1 team. Do that for 4 years. You go to a Clemson when they're hot. Do that for a couple of years. So you never had a chance to do it with lesser talent. So when you're doing it with lesser talent at Oregon State, You're like, man, you see where you're deficient at. You can't raise the tide to fill all boats, right? You're the boat. So now you go to a situation with Florida State having the hype. The hype of DJ's been there the whole time. It's like the first round guy that's trash was getting opportunities because he's first round. So DJ gets in there, and hell, the team is not what it was last year. And Mike Norvell needs a quarterback to look good as a coach. That's just how he coaches. And when he doesn't have a quarterback, they're trash teams. I mean, that's just how his offense is. If you got a trash quarterback, you're just not going to be good on a Mike Norvell team. So I hope he sees it because it don't take much to know what it's going to look like the next time. And this game, like, yeah, you could give DJ the most minimum things possible when throwing the football and still have to have him require him to make big throws, and he just can't do it. He went 15 for 16 under like 130 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You can only do that for so long before you're like, dude, you got to hit at least 3 or 4 deep. And he has the strongest arm to do it, but he'll hit a fan before he hit a receiver. Hit a water girl on the sidelines where he hit somebody in stride. So you have to craft the offense. Oregon State was his best bet offensively. And they did him the right way. He's a package guy. Bring him in at certain times, split him with the other talented guy. Y'all can win 10 games.
Yeah.
You put him out there dolo. We saw what happened at Clemson. He's not a dolo guy. You got to package that guy. If he was smart, he'd start running around. Forget trying to go to the league. Worry about winning games the best way you can. That's by him running the ball. He ain't got to be fast. You don't see it, be a stereotypical quarterback. 1, 2, 3, first guy's not there, man, get out of there. It's your 6th year. We are tired of seeing you be inconsistent because we know you got a big arm but can't throw. Take your big self in college and run them linebackers over for a first down.
I was about to say, what happened to his run game?
No,
Like
he mentally will never do it because he's trying to be a top quarterback and passing and this and that and this and that. The misconception is that they filled his head and made him say, "Oh, you have the strongest arm since 6th grade." But they never told him, "Man, you too big to not be running." And that's just gonna help. If he was 15 or 16 for 130, but had 80 yards on the ground, okay, now we talking. Now we working. Now we can win a game. You know what I mean? Because then you start threatening to run with the quarterback run game. Okay, the little dink and dunks will matter a little bit more. His fault was he went to a QB trainer too long, too early, and don't know how to play football. He got all the little pocket moving and slide, step in the pocket and all. That's just not his game. He would never be great at doing that. You've been training since 6 years old. Them slides in the pocket ain't working. Take your big self and win games and run the football. And I promise you, your pass will complement that, but you have nothing to complement your pass game. So that's the number one thing. You're not a pure passer. He's not.
Yeah.
And the more he keep focusing on that, I mean, you've seen it. It's like it's the biggest oxymoron ever. Florida State wants to throw so bad, knowing damn well 50 pass plays he might hit like he did 16 of them. They call 27 pass plays he hit 16, 17. And use those to let him run, the guy probably would have won the game. Who wants to tackle big ass DJ all game? It's easy when he's standing still trying to throw. Because he's going to skip rocks and throw it out of bounds and throw it in concession stand, throw it in the parking lot and waste plays. He got hot at the end, but that's like that Prescott getting hot. It don't matter, you know. Because it's a lot easier to play when you the underdog trying to come back or stay in the game. You know, it's easy to do that. It's hard to play from a lead, and it's hard to play when you, and it's hard to play when you know that you're supposed to be the better quarterback.
Yeah, I think the running game and his legs and his size would be absolutely amazing to use, right? Even if it's like in the form of Jalen Hurts, short yardage, and you know, it just adds a dimension to the offense and also helps him in tough areas. Like Haynes King, man, how many times was he under pressure and able to make something out of nothing?
Because hey, King playing football, he's like, man, we need this first down, and the play may be there, but hell, I'm gonna just run. Fuck it, I'm gonna just see. I know I can run and get the first down. Forget trying to look good. DJ just trying to look good all the time. He think he's a premier pocket passing Tom Brady ass quarterback. He's not. No, and that's okay. Shit, you know, Jalen Hurts did it his way, and everybody down him about his throwing. He went to the right team that was like, listen, we'll compliment your throwing by running you, doing some different things, help you out, which is perfectly fine if that's the offense you want to run.
Yeah.
But don't criticize DJ and then tell him to do stuff his skill set is not consistent enough to win with. And that's what's going on at Florida State. If they can't run the ball and they get down more than 10, it's going to be a low-scoring game because the defense is good.
I don't know, Left. That defensive line didn't look good today. That wasn't the best defensive line in America. I'm sorry.
But you gave up, what, 24 points against, which we'll see later, Georgia Tech's defense being porous.
No, you're talking about the offensive line. I'll give the Georgia Tech offensive line a lot of credit because they were the number one rushing offense in the ACC last year. They returned 4 of the starting 5 on that offensive line, and they pretty much picked up right where they left off.
I'm talking about Georgia Tech's defense.
Oh, you talking about Georgia Tech's defense? I thought you were talking about Florida State's. My fault.
No, we'll see Georgia Tech's defense be more porous.
But I don't think they're talented enough to be consistent. I think today they were able to get Florida State behind the sticks and then third
because
down.
they know DJ can't throw. That's what I'm saying. If you get up on DJ and stop the run, it's easy win. That's an easy dub. Like the game will play itself out. Like he just won't have enough throws capable to hurt you. He'll have enough throws to keep you in the game. Have enough throws to, but eventually, when it matters, he's not going to be able to make them. So that's why when you go to better teams and you play up with a lead all the time, those mistakes don't matter, you know, because you up 15,000 points.
Yeah, it's crazy because shout out to Tyler Santucci, the new defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. I give him extreme credit. Right up front, they didn't have the horses. I like the effort kid, the middle linebacker. Yeah. He's tough. I like him. Tough, hard nose. I think at the weak side linebacker, they started a true freshman. And that kid balled out, made some TFLs. But I think Tyler Santucci, the plan was, like you said, make DJ beat us. And early on, Florida State was able to run the ball, and then they got to the screen action. And you saw Georgia Tech make the adjustment. And if Georgia Tech was able to get Florida State to 3rd and 4 or more, 3rd and 5 or more, that's when you saw Tyler Santucci go into his bag for what he's known for, and that's exotic blitzes. And the blitz game definitely gave the offensive line trouble. Heck, they had a chance to go up even more. The big face mask penalty on 3rd and 8. I think it was like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. They get a big hike. The defensive end gets a big sack, but he grabs the face mask and that continues to drive for Florida State. That helped Florida State's offense out. So I thought Tyler Santucci and Brent Key. The entire coaching staff. They gave Georgia their players a chance to win, and they ended up winning the game. And Buster Faulkner, I like his offense as well, Left.
But any time a good team that's ranked like that can't score points, you're just going to be in those type of games all year.
Yeah.
Good college football is a 35 plus, 40 plus point game. If you in the 20-21 range, you're liable to get beat by anybody in college football.
Yeah.
Period. That's why Florida State will be 500 this year if DJ doesn't throw the ball better. That's just how it's going to be. I don't care who they have, what they got going on. If they're going to start doing what they did him at Oregon State, putting in the young guy and saying, all right, we're just going to worry about next year.
Man, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That cat DJ might as well just go ahead and join EJ Manuel on that sideline, bro.
Got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's unfortunate. The kid is a really good kid. He's cool. Everybody loves him. He's been the hype kid since he was the little because he was the biggest. Had the unnaturally strong arm. Played on the best team. Big famous. Go to the best team in college football. And you haven't played nearly as good since the first game against Notre Dame, your freshman year. That's just, I haven't seen a game comparable since.
You know what's crazy, Left? Haynes King transferred from where?
Texas A&M.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough for Jimbo Fisher, I guess, huh?
Well, I thought he's a Texas kid, so I knew he was going to go somewhere over there. Oh, I think he's a Cali kid.
He's a Cali kid, yeah.
But I think that, the way he was playing in high school, because he was at the C.J. Stroud Elite 11 with Bryce Young. And he was good then. But I could just tell it was like, okay, he needs to be in the system for a little bit. He's really robotic. He can't be like that if he wants to be elite. Go somewhere, they treat him good for 2 years. He works hard because he's a serious guy.
Yeah.
So I knew if he was in the right spot, eventually he'll be all right. But he had all the intangibles, Bryce had him, CJ had him. He was noticeable the whole time in camp. So I'm not surprised. And then when you go to a matchup like this, he's the better quarterback. He's going to win.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So, Left, before we move into the Notre Dame linebackers and the impact freshmen on the squad, who do you think this impacts more? Notre Dame from a seeding standpoint, or Riley Leonard being able to prove what he really means? What took a bigger hit today with the Florida State loss? Because Florida State was that marquee matchup.
Well, everything that I continue to say about it's not going to matter until the playoffs. Steve Angeli can beat this Florida State team. And if you don't think Steve Angeli,
ladies and gentlemen, before the game was played, Left, there are a lot of Notre Dame fans that probably would tell you you're crazy. You might be onto something with that one, Left.
I told y'all since the early spring, Steve Angeli, with the team we have against the schedule we got, can win just as many games as Riley Leonard. You telling me Steve Angeli wouldn't treat that DJ Florida State team like he did against Oregon State? Come on now. They didn't ask King to do much, but to hand the ball off, hit some passes, manage the game. He took it upon himself to, he made some good plays. He's a good player. Steve Angeli could do the same things. King didn't throw for no crazy yards. He threw for what? 138, ran for about 80 something. You telling me with them numbers you can beat a top 10 team? Steve Angeli can do that with the team he got, with Denbrock. So yes, it's not proving nothing to me. Hopefully it's showing more to the fans that I was right. We're not going to see the impact of Riley until it matters. We can beat this Florida State team with Steve Angeli. We can beat Georgia Tech with Steve Angeli. We play both of those teams. Can Riley Leonard beat him? Yeah. But we paying Riley Leonard $2 million. And for me, in my mind, my opinion, that $2 million is for the playoffs.
So Steve Angeli would beat them like Shakur Stevenson. It would be boring. But it
It
would
wouldn't be
definitely
boring.
be.
It'd just be a good win. We'll score like 34, 35 points.
Well, he's not going
He
to
can
beat them
have
like
like 220, between 220, 250,
mhm.
2 or 3 touchdowns. Easy day.
I feel you, love. I feel you.
Because Riley, guess what? Riley's going to have the same numbers in the same game against the same team with the same plays. And what? You're going to overinflate his numbers as if Steve couldn't do the same.
Yeah.
And it's just the product of being on a good team. And you're going to average those numbers throughout the season because we have a better team. The problem is when you're playing teams that are equal to or greater than, your quarterback's got to be something. Georgia Tech and Florida State are equal to or greater than. So the quarterback makes a difference. And Mike Norvell knew that. How many times you see the ball fly down the field, hoping DJ would hit something?
Mm-hmm.
There was guys open, but they just hoping he hit. He's throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Nobody can get it.
He was pretty. He was.
That's what I'm saying. This shit's ridiculous. I would
You
stop
know-
calling it the
You
second
know
time.
what I laughed? You know what I laughed at? I was talking to, but I had conversations going all over the place in this game. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching the Florida State offensive line. They were talking about, yeah, they're all 330. And they're not, dude. Once the adjustment was made by Georgia Tech and they crowded the box, it was nothing. It was literally nothing. Nothing.
Nothing
And
you can do. Just
nothing.
imagine how painful that is for a guy that almost was quote unquote a national champion to be in a game where you're getting looks where you're like, I got plays for that, but I just can't hit them. That was Notre Dame for about 10 years, but the only difference is we could run the ball.
Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is I look at the chat, like people, it's so funny, bro. Because people don't even understand and like what you're saying about your belief in this team this year.
Yeah.
Like you literally are saying every quarterback in the quarterback room can go out and win 10, 11 games with this team.
Everyone. We're not just saying Angeli. Angeli just the oldest
And just
guy.
because you choose the oldest guy, then everybody wants to go ahead and make disparaging remarks about Steve. I still don't understand what Steve Angeli has done to get the type of response he gets. This dude literally
on the field.
He is literally the only quarterback that has developed year after year and improved.
Only one in the room who can even
In the last
Marcus
7
Freeman
years.
He's the only one that is left standing that Marcus Freeman can say, this is my reference of me developing a quarterback. In 3 years of being here, this is the only thing I have in this room. Because if you look on the team, there's another guy that's a whole nother position, went a whole nother place, played a whole nother sport.
Right.
This man is finishing school.
Right.
And this is the guy Marcus Freeman had coming in. So
and because Marcus Freeman actually did his job and upgraded the room, just because he's the last thing standing, you know what I'm saying? You bought all of this beautiful furniture, you furnished the home, and just because he's the simple gaming seat that you sit in, now you want to dog him? It's incredible to me that the least talented quarterback in the quarterback room in Notre Dame literally could start for like half the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Half the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that's a problem? That's a
my
problem
is they think Riley is so much better than that. And I'm like,
That I'm not sitting up here trying to debate, dude. Literally, the point is the schedule, and we said this.
And what we just watched from two teams we play on the schedule.
Yes.
Two teams we play on the schedule now. Not just
said the schedule was weak, and everybody.
Not only that, they played in Ireland too. So not only it's everything Notre Dame can look at and have a snapshot in week 0 and be like, Steve Angeli can win these damn games. If they didn't see that, which is my whole point, Steve Angeli represents anybody in that room. Because my overall point is spending $2 million for what? Playoff games? I can understand that if he can go in there and win the playoff game.
If
not,
really
they should pay me the $2 million and I should be the GM.
It's really funny. Go get Riley Leonard last year. Riley Leonard made a difference last year against that schedule with his legs. Last year was the year.
Last year was the year.
He wasn't up for sale last year, but last year was the year. Go get him last year. We needed his legs against Ohio State. We needed his legs against Louisville.
Because who are we? Because my question is, who are we saying, thank God we got Riley for? Because we couldn't have been competitive, or we couldn't have beat him, or we couldn't have had a chance against him if we didn't get this transfer. I can't find a team on the current schedule where I'm like, damn, I'm glad we dodged the bullet and got Riley. Not that Riley's not good. It's not about Riley being good. It's about the fact of spending money for a guy with what expectations? Because I hope that we don't bring in a guy with no expectations. Riley Leonard winning 11 games and getting bounced in the first or second round is not what, in my opinion, we needed a transfer quarterback for. Because we can go 11 games and get bounced first, second round with the team that we currently have right now. Period. Steve Angeli can get bounced in the second round due to lack of ability, and everybody would say it's a great season. And you can spend that time developing Minchie, developing Carr, hoping that dude still comes, and you'll still be on schedule. And Marcus Freeman can say, after 4 years, I was able to get to the second round of playoffs with a guy who, when I was here in the beginning, developed for 4 years and gave me that. You're going to undermine your success by falling on a guy you gave a captain letter to do damn near the same thing. Unless you're telling me with getting Riley Leonard, we're securing a national championship. That's what you're telling me. Because I know without Riley Leonard, we're still an 11-2, 11 second round type of team. Naturally. Year 3 of a Marcus Freeman program, all the hard sweat work, pain, hiring, firing, moving, recruiting positions, all of that included. We're an 11-2 team. With you getting Riley Leonard and gassing him up like you doing, gassing him up with a captain, gassing him up with all the stuff you're doing, you're telling me, Marcus Freeman, that your 3 years of building a program is relying on the success of a guy who just got there to win you a national championship.
All I know left is that with Riley Leonard in this schedule, Notre Dame better Usain Bolt teams this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only.
This better be the most consecutive blowouts
ever
in the history of Notre Dame.
History, because you can't explain this. So I'm not going to let people explain it away. Wipe it under the rug. We are an 11-win team, 2 deep in the playoffs, without a transfer quarterback. I'm not even going to put a name on it. Without a transfer quarterback this year, we are an 11-win team, winning 2 games in the playoffs. With Riley Leonard transferring over, Marcus Freeman is telling Lucky Lefty on this podcast, me specifically, that with this transfer, we are securing a national championship because Riley Leonard is $2 million, 3 games in the playoffs worth spending that on. If not, what did we get him for? To get him drafted? We got Sam Hartman drafted, and what did he give us? A 1/3 contract fulfillment.
Okay, let's see, Left. I want you. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's say the average point spread for Notre Dame this year would be, let's just say 10 points plus 10. I think right now they're 2.5 point underdogs in most sports books for next week's game. Buy that money line, big time. But
We are going to suffer in the first game. I'm going to say it right now because it's a quote unquote young offensive line with a new quarterback that is still learning how to communicate. That's going to be the struggle. So they're going to blame the offensive line for some sacks that we take. They're going to blame certain things on because of the nature of the situation. We are going to struggle in the beginning because you have a brand new quarterback with a quote unquote young offensive line. And unless we go out there and straight run the ball, it's going to be a struggle in the beginning. I'm just letting people know. I already predicted, this DJ Uiagalelei thing. We're just going down the line today. It's the prediction show today.
10 points. Will Notre Dame win by 10 against Texas A&M?
We should win by 17.
Okay. All right. Northern Illinois. Will Notre Dame win by more than 10 points?
We should win by 35 points. I'm not even joking.
Notre Dame.
If we're a team we say we are, we should beat Northern Illinois by 35 points. I'm not joking.
Notre Dame against Purdue. Will they win by 10 points?
We should win that by plus 21, 17.
Miami, Ohio. Now, Miami, Ohio, you called a couple of their games.
Good team.
Good team.
I got my dog, Coach Martin, complaining about Alabama stealing their kicker. They not focused. I'm saying that's a 28-plus win.
28 left. Come on. Coach Martin, give him some respect, bro.
We should be that good. It's not about Coach Martin. It's about us.
But this is the Riley Leonard effect.
It's about because we talking about blowing people out now. Steve, yeah. I can be modest. Steve, I can be modest because Steve has developed. He's earned his stripe. He's gonna go through some struggles. He's not, But no, Riley Leonard is a 28-plus victory against a MAC team. A MAC team.
All right.
Riley supposed to be top 5 sitting in New York. I don't want to hear that's 28-plus.
Louisville.
Because if he's not, why is Steve or Kenny not playing? Period. Why are we not playing the guys we're recruiting? Because I thought that matters to a guy like Deuce. Deuce not about to look at Riley Leonard and be like, oh, man, thank goodness that we got development. No, Riley Leonard is a product of Duke. Sam Hartman is a product of Wake Forest. Hey, Steve Angeli playing, product of Notre Dame. Steve Angeli playing has a bigger impact on Deuce than Riley Leonard could ever do. Do.
Yeah.
That's how you recruit. You can't recruit off of Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard is like a same-sex couple. You can never have a baby.
Yeah.
It's just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, this is cool. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Steve Angeli, that baby you done trained since 8th grade. Ready for the big time. About to get drafted. You got tears falling down your face. He walk on the stage, put the hat on. That's what you get with Steve. Riley's like, oh, this is cool. Throw the shiny toy, throw the toy away, and forget about the toy in 2 days. 2 days. So that's the long-term effect of what this experiment is, unless we win a championship. If Marcus Freeman went up there and was like, I just want to get that gold statue, and we'll figure out the rest later, we got to get Riley. I'm okay with that. He should say that in the conference. Because that way it lets me know he's all in. You're not all in building a program for 3 years and then saying, oh, I need to get a part from another foreign land. Because then it tells me that we either not recruiting or not developing the right way. And then you wonder why we can't get a 5-star, whatever.
You
So
know
unless
what?
we win a championship, Marcus Freeman be like, look, I got these rings and things, dog. Doing it how I want to do it. Having my way. But Marcus Freeman can't go out here and tell me 12 wins, bounce first, second round. See, we try. We have no.
Now, see, I'm gonna stick up for you right now because I got John Massey. He has a couple of questions. This one was interesting. He said, "I can't believe there's 180 on Steve compared to the last 2 years on this podcast. What's left is saying." Well, Steve was trashed 2 years ago, so Left spoke the truth. You saw it in practice. He saw it in practice. It wasn't good. And we're talking about just in shells. Just warm up. Wasn't good. Balls hitting the ground. Coming up short. And as we said, you see a kid put in the work to get better and has gotten better and developed every year. That should be celebrated.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't care.
making fun of the fat kid that's in the gym. He
I
in the
don't-
gym.
I don't.
How you
Yeah,
gonna-
he
in the
was
gym.
bad. It's like there's nothing wrong with seeing somebody and saying, "Yo, that's not good," and then seeing them 2 years later, like, "Whoa,
There's nothing better than that. That's
this
where
the same dude.
Same dude.
That's the same dude." Like,
And
for
you
real?
telling that same dude that done got his body right, oh, I'm gonna just go ahead and date the model. Just imagine that. You got a bad girl in school. Hey, if you was just 50 pounds lighter, I'd date you. You 50 pounds lighter, feeling good, looking good. Oh, I just want to date the quarterback on the team. Oh, everybody was rooting for me. Parents rooting for me. My dogs rooting for me. You just gonna cop out? You gonna cop out?
Man.
Take the
It's not anything that I say it all the time, man. At the end of the day, we give analysis, we give our thoughts on the present day, and nothing we say has anything to do with the outcome of these young men's lives. They decide who they will become and what the team will be.
That's right.
They decide. Like, we're not gods. Other
We're
people
just talking about perception.
perception, what we see. Other people might want to play
Because-
God. Like,
I
they
just
know
hope
everything.
I just hope the Notre Dame fan base don't look at this another person stealing money by coming in riding on the coattails and the hard work of individuals to get themselves drafted. We've seen the story. Are we not damaged enough by the Sam Hartman story to underperform and be celebrated? Should not be a thing at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It may work in corporate workplaces. It may work in certain family situations and relationships. But for a team that's trying to win a championship, we can't keep graduating guys that don't get it done. We've had coaches get graduated when they haven't gotten it done. We've had many guys pass through this program, going on to bigger and better things
Facts.
and not getting it done.
I can tell you
$100
one
million
thing.
man.
I don't care if he ever takes a starting snap outside of that bowl game. Steve Angeli's gonna win in life.
Is going to win in life.
Just for the simple fact of what I saw from that young man
That's right.
2 years ago, and he's shown me his character to be who he is today, regardless of whether or not it's good enough for anybody. He's gonna win in life. That to me has been proven. That young man is gonna win in life.
And that's what Notre Dame do to you. That's how Notre Dame gets you ready for the real world. Because they're going to toss you through some BS. They're going to have you thinking you should leave and do all type of things. But if you can stick it through, you'll just be built for a greater challenge.
Yeah.
And it may not work now for Steve, but I'm sure throughout the season, Steve will get an opportunity where he'll be like, I should have been playing.
Yeah.
He'll make the play of the game, or he'll do something, because that's the hard work earned after getting beat by $2 million.
And Commander Luke, I got some words for you, but because of who I am, I'm gonna say, call me crooked to my face. You see me in South Bend, walk up to me and say it, because I bet you won't. Don't think it's sweet because I'm a man of God. Don't play with my character. I don't do that. I don't do that. Like I said on this show, you can disagree with opinions. When you start talking about the character of individuals on this show or guests on this show, that's when we stop the buck. You can hop off because I don't do that blocking stuff. So you can hop off, leave the chat. We're going to continue to have a great show. But that foolishness, we don't do that. Not on this podcast. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't allow it to be done to us, and we're not going to let you do it to anybody in the chat.
That's right.
So show some maturity and talk football. That's it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Let's get to it, left linebackers. Oh, we didn't finish. So basically, is there anybody on the schedule? Is there anybody on the schedule that you see that won't be within 10 points or shouldn't be within 10 points? That's all I need to know. Because from what I look at, Notre Dame with Riley Leonard at quarterback should
be wiping the floor.
Should handle everybody. And if we know it won't go like that. There are always games where you just don't play your best.
The way we've constructed ourselves and promoted ourselves to the world, we should be beating teams by 20 plus points. Because where do we lack with us literally getting better in all the weaknesses, quote unquote, that we went into the offseason with? Everything that we went into the offseason with as a weakness to a team that was already scoring 35 plus, we've covered it with great excellence, from coaches to players to transfers to recruits. There is no excuse. We promoted coaches to take greater roles that had fantastic roles the previous year. We've got coaches who literally have won the Heisman and first rounders the year before.
Mm-hmm.
To keeping and retaining a coach with the top 10 defense, a defensive player of the year returning, who's also a first rounder, a first round corner, several guys returning, key players, fifth years and seniors, and defensive starters. Offensively, you done got the best receiver in the portal. Not only is he the best, but had the most receptions in college football last year. And he runs a 4.4. And we disrespected him by saying he ran a 4.4. When we didn't have that speed and talent last year. And then you went and got another special transfer, fifth year senior receiver that's 6'4 plus. That can do the other thing that we was missing, which was playmaking in the red zone. And then you got another transfer from a quarterback where we felt we quote unquote lacked in experience and their other.
Yeah.
So where did we get weaker at? It seems like we got stronger in everything that we needed to. So yes, we should go out there and dominate. Because I don't know where we wouldn't. Where wouldn't we dominate? You gonna say the offensive line? I wouldn't say the offensive line. We've been good. We have credit. You walk into the store, you just start getting things because you own credit. Put it on the house. The offensive line has built up 20 years of credit where they get the benefit of the doubt. And if it's weak, it ain't even that bad.
Right.
Because they have that credit. Oh, they ran up a check today. That's okay. They'll be back. They're all right. They're loyal members. They have membership loyalty cards. They're good. They spend at this store. We ain't worried about them. And one-timers that want to come in for the first time and only time and get the most expensive thing in the whole store, see, we got to worry about them.
Yeah. So what's your tough game now? What's your tough game now? Because you already said the beginning of the Texas A&M game is going to be tough because of the situation. Riley didn't get the reps in the spring. The transition, year one quarterback through the portal is going to be tough. Young offensive line, it's going to make it tougher. The run game is going to be vitally important early. but you expect Notre Dame to pick up steam as the game goes on, hit opportunities against a back end of a Texas A&M defense that does not line up with how good they are up front.
And a lot of this is the caveat of who we're playing. A lot of people don't think it's possible, but look at who we're playing. We're playing teams that just don't have on paper anything that we have. We're literally the bully on paper in every matchup on the schedule. We just seen Florida State top 10 team what they look like. We just seen it.
Yeah.
And we know how limited they look. And that's a top 10 team right now. Then the rest of the team stand no chance. If that's a top 10 team and that team's on our schedule, what are the rest of those teams in? Because we're not playing no other ranked games.
Looking at this, Georgia Tech could be ranked. They could be ranked depending
Georgia
upon
Tech throughout the season won't get to top 10.
You're right.
So
but I'm
this
just
is
saying,
the highest ranked team on the schedule that will have the entire season, and they scored 21 points. How does it get better from here? To where you say, man,
USC might be ranked higher.
They might be in the top 10 by the end of the year. When do we play them? October?
No, last game of the year, November.
They'll be top 10 by November. There's no chance.
Left. I'm just mentioning teams that have a chance, dude.
No chance. They couldn't do it with a Heisman guy. That's the first pick of the draft that went to your favorite team. They couldn't even do it with that guy. They went 7-5 that year.
Who's your favorite team today? Because you switch bait so many times. One day it's the Bengals, the next day it's the Jaguars. I mean,
wait, my team have always been the same.
You kind of like your boy right now, searching.
My team has always been the same. I've been a Jacksonville fan.
Sometimes your NFL team search, bro, is like Drake searching for a hit right now. It's very similar. It's very similar, Left.
I have my favorite team has always been, growing up, was the Chiefs. I stopped liking the Chiefs because obviously they became.
Wait a minute. We had another team, the Chiefs?
Hold on.
That's the third team. Go ahead.
That's why I don't talk about it. That's why I'm glad.
Give us the background.
I'm glad you're saying this because I'm glad I've removed myself from potential bandwagon association. And I've done the same for Golden State. I was a Golden State and Kansas City fan since a 6th grader. And I can prove it through me wearing a Kansas City Chief Priest Holmes jersey for Christmas. And I can prove it by wearing a Baron Davis jersey that I had when I was younger too. No, I'm sorry. Jason Richardson jersey I had when I was younger. I disassociated myself. I also liked Jacksonville at that time. But I disassociated myself from Kansas City. I liked Jacksonville at the time because of David Garrard, Mark Brunell, Maurice Jones-Drew, Mercedes Lewis, Dennis Northcutt, who also played for the Browns. I was a real fan.
Were you?
Real fan.
Real fans have multiple teams?
I was a real fan of those two teams.
Real fans have multiple teams?
Jacksonville, Kansas City. I was a real fan.
I'm a real Chicago Bulls fan. There is no other squad.
I'm
a real Chicago White Sox fan, and they stink, and I still watch.
I don't know how you can be a fan talking about your team so bad.
Because they stink. I tell the truth. They stink. They stink. They stink. But that's still my squad. You know how it is. It's just like family. Left, you got some family, bro, that you're not inviting out.
But you never hit the reverse like I hit the reverse. My team wasn't that good, but they got obviously the 2 best teams in the world over the last 20 years. So I was like, I don't want to be a part of that people not knowing the truth.
That all you're saying is you're not a real fan. You were never a real Kansas City
fan. A real fan.
Nah. You don't fade
I'm a real fan.
Fans don't fade the black.
I'm a real fan because I have proof. Now, where it comes to the Bengals and the Browns, that's just like me being an Ohio State fan because I'm from Ohio.
Who bought you the Chiefs jersey? Who bought it? Was it an uncle?
Santa
from Kansas City?
Santa, because it was that long ago when I was.
So you put it on your Christmas list then? that year?
Yeah, because I was a real.
You wanted a Kansas City Chiefs Priest Holmes jersey.
Yes,
You put it on the Christmas
specifically.
list.
Yes,
You left it
specifically.
out with cookies and milk for Santa.
It happened exactly like that.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, Left. I promise you, I'll take your word for it, man.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Still not a real. Yeah, send it to me. I'll post it up. I'll post it up right now on the show. I want to see that. Lucky Lefty podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we'll get into some talk about the linebackers and the DBs at Notre Dame. That's what we'll do, because I think they're going to be the key to causing Texas A&M to panic a little bit, possibly next week. We'll talk about it coming up next. Home of the Misguided Passion. We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag, because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Only up from here. Let's get busy.
Back, Lucky Lefty podcast. Malik Zaire, Sean Davis, week 0 college football. Georgia Tech beats Florida State 24-21, late game field goal. We talked about that for the first hour, and it's time to talk about Notre Dame's defensive side of the ball heading to this matchup. We're brought to you by Nora Whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey at NoraWhiskey.com. Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. YouTube, subscribe, share, hit the like button. Comments, questions, we respond to all. Audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Coming soon on our Patreon. It's the players only, the only Notre Dame podcast featuring former Notre Dame players. No one else. Former Notre Dame players doing the post game each and every week. And they'll be filming their preseason preview of the 2024 season that will be posted next Wednesday. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Home of the Misguided Passion, forever committed to making sure that we spin it
different.
All right, Left. We have some super chats. Thank you to everybody. If you have a get to the bag question, hit that GTP on your question when you type it in, and we'll get to it immediately. We'll get to it immediately as the sun gets ready to set, because it's right in my face right now. We have some super chats left, so let's get to them before we get to the defense. Eric Spadell says, "Damn, I'm worried about Georgia Tech more than Florida State now. A damn shame. Shaking my damn head." You worried about Georgia Tech a little bit more, Left?
I'm not going to let bad teams that beat other bad teams scare me.
Okay. that's it, huh? 2 bad teams, much or nothing. Okay. All right. I don't know if everybody in the chat agrees with you, but
if we're trying to win a national championship,
I see where you're coming from.
These 2 teams are not going to be left standing.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Marlon Miller, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for tapping in on a Saturday. ND defensive line looks a lot better than Florida State, which ESPN hyped up. Marlon, I couldn't agree with you more. And I expected more from Patrick Payton. I definitely expected more from him today. More impactful. And that just shows you, man, Jared Verse and Brayden Fisk were so good on that defensive line last year. And yeah, I agree with you, Marlon. Totally agree. Ryan Loftus, thank you for the super chat. What games are you and Malik going to this season? It would be cool to see you guys at a tailgate. Go Irish.
Louisville, September 28th.
You guys have the week off that week?
No, but I'm gonna be there.
He said, "No, but I'm gonna be there." All right, because you guys play on Friday anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then Left will be there for Louisville. If Left is going to be there, then more than likely, I'm going to be in the proximity
With a live show, just like we did last year. We're gonna have a whole bunch of activities.
You're letting the cat out the bag now, Left. I wanted to market it right, but I mean, okay, go ahead, Left.
And the people got to know the inside, man. They
You're
right.
You're right. Go ahead. We for the people. Go ahead, Left. Tell them everything. Go ahead.
That's a special game because we got a lot of ish to talk. We got a lot of heckling of Louisville fans that think they got something coming into Notre Dame territory.
Donovan Mitchell, you were on the sidelines last year. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, more than welcome.
You're more than welcome. Come on down.
Come on.
It's a quick 4-hour drive.
We'll even invite you to the podcast. Come on to the podcast. Get this verbal passion before y'all get the real one on the field.
You have all the rights in the world to talk trash.
Yeah, come talk crazy
until kickoff.
Because it's gonna be over before that first quarter.
Oh yeah, payback. I wish I had the copyright to go ahead and play a little James Brown right now, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
That's right.
That's what it's going to be.
Because we want to stay monetized on the Lucky Lefty.
Absolutely. I'll be at the Northern Illinois game because both of my sisters are Northern Illinois grads. Shout out to them. And their Husky education is good enough, especially in the city of Chicago. It's very well respected in Chicago. I'll be there for that game, the Louisville game, and I will be at the Georgia Tech game in Atlanta. It's a road trip for me and my guy. We're doing Atlanta that entire weekend. Yeah, bro. And I don't mind. I don't need a reason. I already have a built-in reason to go to LA. But I don't mind if the CFP is on the line at USC. Absolutely.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that. We should be securing the first playoff spot by week 9 or 10.
Hey. Everybody's like, play the big payback. I can't do it, man.
Yeah, we love the donations and what YouTube does and everything,
Oh, Elizabeth Crook. That's right. You are down south. My girl is originally from Chicago. Hey, tailgating in Atlanta, I'm all for it. I know we'll be playing golf around the golf at the PGA course down there. My best friend's father-in-law works there. He's one of the managers over at the course. Left. I went birdie par on the last two on 17 and 18 yesterday, Left.
That's right. Wow.
Birdie par, bro. Birdie par. My driver started acting crazy from the first tee. I was in survival mode for like 16 holes, Left.
16, that's the whole
16
thing.
holes. I was in survival mode, bro. Thank God my pitching wedge saved me all day yesterday. My wedge just saved me yesterday, Left. They saved me.
Adjustment, man. You always been good at that.
But for some reason, I got to 17 to 18. And that drive became alive, baby. Ain't nothing worse. Let me compare this to you in football. And then we're gonna get to the defense. And for those of you that play golf, you know exactly what I'm saying. That's nothing like, having an inconsistent driver. And finally, you hit a beautiful drive in the middle of the fairway. Let's say it's a par 4, about 410. And you hit one that's about 255, right down the middle. And let's say you have 150 to the hole. because it's right on the front. And you just either hit the approach fat, fly the green, it hits the left, and instead of bouncing right towards the hole, it bounced to the left. And now you're pitching. It's like the perfect setup for a birdie. And then you just screw up the opportunity, bro. What is that in terms of quarterback? Is that like a clean pocket with a wide open receiver and you just overthrow it?
Oh, man. It's like Ohio State 4th and 1 and you run out of bounds. Seriously. I mean, what is the worst thing that you get for that? Running out of bounds on 4th down.
Hey, man, I'm going to lift this up and pray for you right now in this moment, bro. You need prayer today. You had some zingers off today, bro. You need some prayer. This is for you. This is for you. Come on, man. You don't have to do that, man, like that. Let him live up in the nation's capital. Let him live, man. Let him live. You are not going to let that.
We give, for us to have a mission to be so tough, we give so many free rides at the same time. I mean, we are denying humanitarian world leaders for 10 games and what? A nice send-off to the NFL. The only person to this day that has earned it is Jack Cohn, bro. He is the real legend of all this, is Jack Cohn.
Okay. All right. Man, boy, that was a good one, man. I didn't expect that one. I had to get up, love. I did not expect that one. You had that one cuffed.
Moments in history, man, you just can't forget.
All right, Max Bullock, another group, inexperienced, replacing a lot of production, players that have gone on to the NFL. Max Bullock, what's the room looking like? And then, how are you going to go about playing these guys, all of these talented guys?
So we've been through 2 blocks as a team. That's what we call them, 2 little 4 practice blocks. I'm fired up where we're at linebacker. I think we got a different room, different group than we had last year. We had guys that played a lot of football last year, even before I was here. Okay, we got a lot younger room with the exception of Kaiser, I understand that, but we got guys that are competing. We're throwing bullets at them from every different angle. We got a lot of guys playing a lot of ball. It's a competitive room. That's the number one thing I would say is the room has been about as competitive as it's been since I've been here by far, and that's done nothing but helped everybody. So it's been a productive camp.
How much does it help, obviously, to have that competition, but then have Jack as that leader to really lean on to help get those guys up to speed?
Well, from what I've noticed, the competition is kind of taking care of itself in terms of guys wanting to get better, and because they want to play. Like at the end of the day, these guys came here to play football, and they see guys that are producing and doing the things right in front of them or next to them. So that they just naturally it happens. It is what it is. What Kaiser helps us with is Kaiser. I think he takes it on himself to uphold the standard that was here when the last few years when his boys were here, when his team was here. Like uphold the Notre Dame standard of the defense, the details, run into the football. You can tell that he has he put the onus on him to get that done, and that's showing up.
You love Max Bullock, don't you, Left?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like him too, man. I just think, is it uncommon to have 4 to 5 guys at the linebacker position rolling in?
Well, I'm starting to think more this whole competition thing is coach talk for we got a bunch of guys that we just don't know enough about yet. So, yeah, it sounds better to just say they're all going to play because, truthfully, we don't know who's going to mix with who and make it great, which is different, like he talked about. Last year, guys, they know what's going on. It's harder to really come with that youthful energy of this is all new and fresh, and I'm embarking on this new thing, and because guys been there. You know, JD Bertrand probably didn't even practice most days, man. You
Yeah.
know, just a different. You know, Maris probably was on come and go, so you can't establish the same intensity you can with guys that have never been there. So I think that's where the excitement comes from. But I do think it's a competition from the standpoint that they don't know yet either. They're confident in a lot of guys, but they don't know. So that's the fun part for a coach who doesn't know as well. This is his first time really putting a group like this together and having his name stamped on it. So that excitement and energy is good for that defense who in year 3 with vets on the team is good to have to keep that energy in their back.
How can this, what will be asked? Because you have a very good, I'm going to stop short. I want to see it. I think this Notre Dame defensive line could be one of the surprise defensive lines in the country. I think eventually they could end up definitely being a top 10 defensive line, impacting the running game and how they shut the run game down. But the linebackers play a huge part in that. How comfortable will these inexperienced linebackers feel knowing they have very good in front of them and very good behind them?
Well, hopefully it inspires them to play fast. I mean, if you got Ben Morrison and Xavier Watts covering behind you, you know whatever it is, you probably can do a little bit more than you would be comfortable with without them. And then you got a guy like Riley Mills, who's your captain, and Howard Cross up there with those guys. You feel confident that okay, if all else fails, they cover my back and my front. So even if I mess up, I have a greater chance of making a big play, making something exciting happen, because I know I got a safety net behind me.
Yeah. So you talk about Drake Bourne, KVA, Jaden Osbury, Jack Kaiser, Jaden Sneed is someone that I think everyone else is getting all of the attention. Jaden Sneed is just kind of like chilling in the cut, just
It's the
waiting
same.
to
It's the same
explode.
as offensively and conversely as what Deshaun walked into. You
Mm.
got an experienced offensive line. You got Ronnie Stanley, Q, Nick Martin, uh, you know, Eichenberg or whoever we had. And you got Will, who's always open. CJ running everything. So what are you really worried about if you're a young guy? Hell, I just in quarterback case can't lose the game. In linebacker case, I just got to go make a tackle. All the communications and being this and that can be handled on the spot. It helped out and covered by guys who are more experienced.
You know what? You just opened up something. I'm gonna play some Jalen Sneed, but you mentioned Deshaun and what he stepped into. Would you compare what Deshaun stepped into very similar to what Riley is stepping into from a talent standpoint? Because I feel like Riley really doesn't have to do too much but execute, but he still has the ability to make off schedule plays and do things. Because I think, of course, if you don't get hurt, that season is probably a game or two better than it ended up from a win standpoint.
Yeah, it's a national championship better. I mean, but that's splitting hairs between 1 and 2 games, right?
And that's pretty much the difference. But that is what you're expecting Riley Leonard to bring. Like he's stepping into a team that's good, but he's going, if he plays well, now he takes it to that next level.
Right. If he plays well, that's the 2 or 3 games difference that we're expecting, or at least I'm expecting coming from
Right.
or coming to the situation. Plus, the difference, Deshaun was there the year before where his
Gotcha.
expectation went from don't quote unquote F it up to now you got to go win games,
Right. Right.
which is still a
So
drastic change in a year. But it's, I mean, you know, having experience helps that, you know,
being in the system. Yeah, being in the system helps. Now let's take it to the defense side of the ball because I wanted to set this up for you. If this linebacker crew that is inexperienced but extremely talented and has been talked about being longer, faster, having all of the physical components at the position that didn't exist in the same depth and numbers the previous 2 years. especially with playmaking. How can they elevate a defense that Al Golden has already gotten to a certain point? How does this young, talented linebacker core elevate this defense? Can they make it 1 or 2 games better from a defensive standpoint?
Yeah, I mean they have the factor of not having bad habits, essentially. So
Mm,
everything is a first time experience. So with playing fast around veterans, it should make your experience better, right? It's like playing with Michael Jordan is easier, yet it's hard, right? It's easier because you're gonna be open.
yeah,
It's Michael Jordan. Hard because now you're open, you gotta make
because
the
you're
play.
open, but you might not get it.
You open, you might not get it, but when you do get it, you gotta make it. You better make it.
Facts.
And that's essentially what them linebackers is around. The guys that's like, we're gonna do all the hard lifting. But when we kick that rock to you, when that ball spits out into the second level, you gotta clean it up.
Man, when you
Them
get this
open field
run,
tackles, them open field tackles, we need that youth to get out there and
yes,
run and shut them second teamers down. Because Riley Mills gonna do his job and hold his hole and have the right technique, and Howard Cross gonna push it inside, and you know they're gonna cover the RPO with that run. Whereas that hole is open to fill that gap, you gotta fill it. You got the youth and non-injury and non-bad habits to see it and go hit it, right? You
yeah,
shouldn't be thinking I gotta fit it with the right shoulder and right technique and angle. No, go hit the ball. That's the freedom that the linebacker should have. Just go tackle. Don't overthink it. Let everybody else overthink it because they got experience to have situations play in their head. Y'all don't have none. So you don't have nothing to think about. What you think about? You ain't got no experience.
right.
So,
All right. Jaden Sneed, his excitement about the linebackers in the season.
To get better, honestly. Just get better, work on playing with the team, work on playing with the other linebackers that I'm going to be playing with this year. And pretty much it.
And then how is the position a little different when you're inside versus outside?
It hasn't really been different for me because I've been playing all 3 positions since I was a freshman. So I know them like the back of my hand now, and I'm just ready to play wherever Coach fits me.
Is this year different in terms of obviously last year there was like almost like a ceiling with the guys that were in front of you, and now obviously Jack's got a lot of experience, but after that it's kind of wide open. How does that kind of change things a little bit for you guys?
I'm honestly just excited to see what we can do. Like, I know we're a young linebacking core, but I think we're really, really good, and I think we can be really, really good this year. So I'm just excited, honestly, just to see what we can do, knowing that we have a young group with us.
We've seen this defense with good linebacker play left. I look, J.D. Bertrand, Maris, Jack Kaiser, they've been good. They've been productive. But just pure impactful, high-level NFL talent at that position, we have not seen this defense operate with those type of players. And that is very exciting. And I echo the sentiments of Jaden Sneed when he says he thinks that they're really good. Really good. And he's excited to see it.
This is the opportunity to have the space to grow a superstar linebacker. Just like Jalen Smith came into the opportunity with a veteran back end and front end, and was able to fly around and make plays and came the guy he was. I mean, Cormora even had Kyle Hamilton behind him.
Yeah.
Had Balski in front of him. That's a first rounder, a second rounder, a sack all-time leader, and a first pick of the draft type thing. So Cormora could play freely. So that seems like the combination. And then Jaden Sneed being the impact he is, knowing more, being more experienced. He's the veteran now. So his impact will be faster. And obviously he has the ability with his talent to make similar plays as Xavier Watts.
Yeah. Should be fun, man. Should be fun to watch these young guys really mature right before our very eyes, as talented as they are. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I told you that I would give the proof and show it, and you haven't changed a bit, Left. I'll be honest with you, bro. You really haven't changed a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the #1 Chiefs fan from back in the day.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, Left. All right.
Priest Holmes with the long sleeve.
He said, "Been a Chiefs fan." By the way,
I had to let the haters know that I was the original Chief.
Oh man!
And that's
You
a
rocked
real.
it.
That's
You
how you know
rocked
I'm
it too.
I wasn't.
I like the way you did that. You found the right shade of red T-shirt to go under. Most people just do the white.
Because I was a real fan, Sean. I'm trying to tell you. I was trying to match what I saw on TV.
Oh, my fault. That wasn't a T-shirt. That was the long sleeve. I see you, Left. I see you. So
That's
you were
right.
prepping for your high school uniform even back then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. I see you. I see you. Okay.
Kansas City, baby.
Lucky Lefty. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, he's a real Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's a real Jaguars fan. And just because he's from Dayton, he's a real Bengals fan.
Just from Ohio, you support the home team.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Because I always find it
guess.
crazy that you can't support your home team. What kind of fan are you?
Who doesn't support their home team?
Like, we got these cornball people that live in Ohio but are Michigan fans. Like, what are we talking about?
Did their family graduate from Michigan?
If you're living in Ohio and you have undying allegiance to Michigan, that's a problem.
What are the rules? Now, I want to ask LL. LL, let me know the unwritten rules of fandom. Left just gave one. If you are a born and bred resident of Ohio, but you're a Michigan fan, you should be disavowed. Is that what you're saying, Left?
Absolutely.
You should lose your residency.
It should come to question.
Okay. All right.
You don't gotta love the Ohio teams, but you just going with the total.
But there's so many teams in Ohio you can choose from.
I know we're the cradle of football, but that's beside the point.
No, that's factual, Left. I mean, that's factual. That's factual. It's factual. Definitely the cradle of coaches. That's factual, Left. Yeah, man. Now, see, how do you feel about this? Gold Eyelash said, "What about born and bred Ohio, but you're a Notre Dame fan?"
Notre Dame is fluid.
What?
We have the biggest fan base network in the world.
Okay.
In the world.
I see where you're going.
People in South Africa love Notre Dame. It reaches beyond borders.
Okay. So ND has an international pass. Their pass crosses, I got you.
We have G14 clearance. We can go wherever, whenever.
Okay.
G14
classified. I got you.
There's nowhere we can't go. You can't find us.
Okay. All right.
What they say, the Mecca, you go to Mecca.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is the Mecca for college football because you have to travel too.
So everybody needs to make a trip to the Mecca.
A Notre Dame fan gonna make a trip.
Yes, that's true. That's
Notre Dame fan gonna be there.
You're in your bag today, Left. You're in your bag today. I don't know what you ate today, but you're in your bag. That was a good one. Mike Mickens, the defensive backfield. What's up with Coach Mickens in the development, now being safeties coach, defensive back coach, with help from Mark Biaggi dealing with the safeties? Coach Mick, what's it looking like going into the season?
Very smart, very athletic, works hard, plays with great effort. He's going to be a great addition to the room.
And then where are Carson and Leonard kind of at in their development right now?
They're doing good. You know, they're getting better every day. You know, we're through 13 practices now, so they come in and be intentional about their work. They want to be the best. You know, they want to get out there and compete. And that's what I love about it, that they are very intentional about what they do. Two good guys.
That's Coach Mickens talking about the additions via transfer, Rod Hurd, Jordan Clark, and then also talking about Carson Hobbs and Leonard Moore and what they've been bringing to the table during fall camp. Left, the defensive backfield was already pretty good. You heard the buzz about Leonard Moore. We saw him making plays. You expect him to get ticked. Carson Hobbs makes the move from outside into nickel. He's the backup nickel right now behind Jordan Clark. You expect both of those kids to be ready when the moment arrives, whether it's down in College Station or the rest of the schedule. Mike Mickens is building something that could be considered one of the DBUs down the line, big picture. And you have to feel happy with the fact that this defensive backfield can be even better than they were last year.
Yeah, Mike Mickens is at that water is wet stage where anything he says about defensive backfield, you just feel good about it. It's just a wow. I'm just impressed. Because what he's putting on the field matches not so much to what he says, but just to the fact of the matter of what he's putting out there, it means something. He's doing his job. He's producing on the football field. And a lot of coaches can't say that. You know, a lot of coaches can give you coach speak and you will leave left not knowing what you're getting. When Mike Vick can tell you he's doing good, you best believe when you go on Saturday, he's going to be doing good. So that's the stage he's in, and so I believe anybody under that is going to have a pretty good opportunity to have a good season.
I was second that, Left. I was second that, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to watch them week one. I think they're going to shut down the wide receivers from Texas A&M, who are pretty redundant, big, not explosive, 50-50 guys, crossers, things of that nature. Get the ball to them and let them use their size. And I think Notre Dame is going to take away their space. I really do. And I think Connor Wegman is definitely going to get picked off. Everybody wanted to hear from Benjamin Morrison, who was very quiet in the offseason, didn't participate too much in the spring, recovering from the soldier. He was from the shoulder injury. He was limited in the spring. He let loose from the first practice, and he was all about getting back. And this is what Benjamin Morrison said about the season.
Foremost, I want to thank God for allowing me to be out here again and compete at this high level. And that's been huge. Having that injury was a little setback for me, but understanding that I can get back to full go before game one was big for me. And once I learned that information, I just attacked every single day and just putting my head down and working.
We've seen you work a lot against Jaden Thomas. How has that kind of that give and take been?
Yeah,
I've seen you in some years.
JT. He's a very mature receiver, and understanding what his game allows mine to kind of grow. His strengths kind of can expose my weaknesses. But that's what practice for. At his top of the route has been really beneficial for my development as a DB. I love going against him. I love going against all of our receivers.
What do you think about B-Mo? You had conversation with him as you participated as one of the coaches at his camp out there in Arizona. Sat down with him, sat down with his dad, excited to see how his season. There was a lot of panic, whether or not people were talking about, man, he might not be back for the first 2 or 3 games. And, would they be okay with Christian Gray and Jaden Mickey down against Texas A&M? Well, he's ready to go, Fighting Irish fans. You don't have to worry about that.
Unfortunately, the best and worst thing that Ben Morrison can do is stay healthy. His biggest impact this season is going first round. So, all that's great. Just stay healthy, Ben.
That's how you sum it up, right? Says, hey, bro.
Nothing matters more right now for Ben Morrison specifically than to be walking across the stage as a first rounder for the program. Forget the season. For the program.
Wait a minute. So at left, big picture, Ben Morrison staying healthy
is more important than his contribution to this football team this year.
You know what? I might disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from. Because you
For
need
Marcus
one.
Freeman, I'm like, look, man, if you got to take 3-4 games off, take them. I need to be standing next to you, hugging and crying with your mom and your family on draft day as a top 10 pick. I need that for me. If I'm Marcus Freeman, I need that for me because we're going to get far. You're my biggest prospect this year. I need you to be walking across that stage as a top 10 pick. Period. I really just need you to sit for till the playoffs, but I ain't gonna be that greedy. I ain't gonna, because we can win with the other ones. We good. We got Mike Mickens and Al Golden.
Facts.
And an offense. And Xavier Watts. I mean, we got guys that can cover bacon. We got the most bacon covering team in America. Ben Morrison is his biggest thing he can do for this team this year is walk across the stage as a top 10 pick.
Not this team, this program. Because that's impacting the program. It won't impact this year's team.
Program, sorry.
I get what you're saying.
And Mike Mickens is in the room shaking his head in the back. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Mike Mickens really like, please, for me. Mike Mickens go DC somewhere big if Ben Morrison does that.
Because let's see, BMO would be
and he gonna get credit for Xavier Watts too? Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is BMO his first start to finish across the stage prospect?
We got a Don Schuler, we get him ready. I mean, we got the Al Golden effect.
I don't think he directly recruited Kyle Hamilton. So, yes, if I'm not mistaken, BMO would be his first high school evaluation offer, beat out Alabama and Washington for his services, get him in, develop him. I'm talking about at Notre Dame because he's already done it at Cincinnati. He's done that at Cincinnati. But in Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison, from a program standpoint, you're right, Left. The representation of what that would mean with Mike Mickens as defensive back, him being a first-round pick, that would have huge implications for that Notre Dame recruiting moving forward. Yeah, I guess you're right. I think I would still want him to dominate. And first of all, he has to be healthy for both to be accomplished, right? If he's healthy, he's definitely going to play. I think he's going to play well. If he's healthy, the defense is going to be really good. So that's our prayer, right? Stay healthy, Benjamin Morrison. We look forward to seeing you walk across that stage in the first round.
$1 million like LeBron on his body right now.
Right. Definitely take out that policy. Brendan Cordial, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, Brendan, for always supporting from day one. Thanks for the great content. Irish CFP champs, from your lips to God's ears, my man. Anything on the way out? Who are your impact freshmen? Your impact freshmen, Left. Who are your impact freshmen this year? Who are you looking to watch game one as a freshman come out and make plays against Texas A&M, or just big picture for the season? Give me one on offense and one on defense.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Offensively, I want to see my dog Aeneas Williams.
I missed it.
Aeneas Williams?
Okay. I don't know how I didn't know. Okay. I should have known Aeneas Williams was definitely going to be one of your.
And then I want to see Jordan Clark, actually, defensively.
Jordan Clark is not a freshman, though, left. But
I mean, he's a freshman on the team of this team.
So now you're stretching the rules and expanding the borders. I hear you.
I'm just saying, the locker room, man. The locker room be different with me in there.
Yeah.
Come on, you just got here. You down there with the other guys. You transferred.
That's how you would treat him, left.
Yeah, you would transfer. You just gave me walking up here with your $2 million. That's why I feel, Steve. Like, he cool. He here, you know.
Oh man, I'm not going to go for the low-hanging fruit defensively. Most people would say Kingston. I think most people would just go Leonard Moore from what they heard. But defensively, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not Sean Sevillano can crack the top 2 rotation at defensive tackle. I think if he can be a big body, impactful, by the time November rolls around, especially in the playoffs going against the level of competition, I am going to ride with him. I'm going to be watching his development. I'm definitely going to watch his development. Offensively, once again, low-hanging fruit, yeah, Knapp and Pendleton, right? Left guard, left tackle. Nah, I'm not grabbing them. Who are you going to grab? Aeneas Williams? Nah. Hedrick? Yeah. Nah. No. Kenny Minchie and CJ Carr. I want to see, do they sit and take Steve Angeli just being the number 2, or if they continue to push him during the season while Riley Leonard is doing his thing and eventually supplant him as the backup. Redshirt freshman, true freshman. I'm going to be watching that. Do they sit and just say, okay, Steve's the backup, or do they continue to apply pressure? Do they continue to come after him? And eventually take over. I would love to see that moving forward, knowing the quarterback battle that is to come in the spring. All of us have expectation of what's to come. It would be really nice to see one of those 2 guys show themselves during the season worthy enough to be the backup quarterback. So we can pretty much feel like going into the spring, hey, we feel like we have our guy. We feel like we have our guy with multiple years in the system under Mike Denbrock. That would make me and a lot of Notre Dame fans feel a whole lot better, in my opinion. Lucky Lefty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So I went really high in the tree. I didn't want the fruit that I could just stand on my tippy toes and get. Had to shake the tree a little bit.
I mean, they taste the same, you know.
No, the fruit higher tastes sweeter, bro. Come on,
because it's harder to get.
Come on, bro. You saying that your first million tastes better than your second million? Or
yes.
your 10 million? No, bro. 10 million tastes a whole lot better than 1. I don't know.
Cracking that million is no other feeling.
Yeah, cracking that billion feel a whole lot better.
See, billion, that's
you know what I mean? Reasonable doubt, Jay-Z, and 444 Jay-Z. It's a different feeling, bro.
Yeah, you talking about billions, hell yeah.
That's all I'm saying. You know.
Like, do you realize as a billionaire you would die before you spend all that money?
What did Jay say in this song? He said, my baby mama harder than a bunch of you cats. I don't want to say the word. He said, to keep it 100, I think I hit the lottery. You know what I mean? And I really listened to him like, yeah, bro, you really did hit the lottery ticket when you connected with her. You for sure did. You're a billionaire. She's a billionaire. Yeah. Good question, Left, as we get ready to leave. What's the lottery ticket? What's the lottery ticket for Notre Dame? Something that you think might not happen, but if it happens for Notre Dame, watch out. Oh, that's a good question. LL, what's Notre Dame's lottery ticket this year? Player, situation, game, anything. What would you consider Notre Dame's lottery ticket? That if this happens, Notre Dame's going to win the national championship or be in position to win the national championship. If Riley Leonard is in New York in early December, watch out. If Riley Leonard plays Heisman-worthy football, ooh.
What's a Heisman moment for Riley Leonard in this regular season?
My Heisman moment, I need 30 touchdowns, 3,500 yards, undefeated season.
If he did that in one moment, I agree.
3,500, 30 combined. 30 combined. I don't even need 30.
He doesn't even have a Heisman moment on his schedule. Think about it. C.J. Stroud had them same numbers, lost to Michigan, lost to Heisman.
A comeback win against USC on the road could be Heisman.
But we're gonna be up at. We're slated to win.
No, I said a comeback win, Left. That you're not up if you fall behind, Left.
I don't see it. Are we slated to win most games this year?
That doesn't mean anything. Jalen Milroe was slated to beat Auburn, and that was a Heisman moment. He didn't win it. Yeah, that was a Heisman moment.
He's like fourth in Heisman.
The dude that just won the Heisman lost 4 games last year, bro.
Who?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, but he had like 2 first-round receivers, 4,300 yards, 50.
So what was his moment? That's what I'm saying. What was his moment, though?
He beat Bama.
He didn't beat Bama. Bama beat them by 14.
Oh, that his first year?
Say it again.
That is first. Who did he beat?
Oh, that was last year. He got knocked out the game, and Bama beat them by 14.
He had a pretty good game. He had his 4,300 yards and 45 touchdowns with 2 first-round receivers going to do it though.
Oh, the numbers were crazy. I'm just saying,
Riley Leonard not winning the Heisman with 3,500 yards.
Well, first of all, Riley Leonard as the quarterback in Notre Dame going undefeated will basically put him in New York.
Undefeated, yes. 3,500 yards, you're not winning it. You'll be there sitting in the chair congratulating the other guy.
That's all I said, love. I gave my numbers: 3,500, 30 touchdowns, undefeated season. If that happens, cooking with fish grease.
4,500 yards, you're cooking with fish grease.
Left. Come on, Left. You know Riley Leonard's not about to throw for 4,500, bro.
Why not? We supposed to win a championship.
Because Thomas and Neighbors are not on this in this wide receiver.
We spent $2 million.
Left. You're being unfair now. You're being unfair.
Are the New York Giants
Left, you're knocking the hustle, dude. Stop counting that man's pockets, bro.
Is Daniel Jones being unfair to the Giants, or is the Giants being unfair to him?
You're the one that defended Daniel Jones and what he got. Don't double back now. You defended Daniel Jones in that ridiculous contract. I did not.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hear it.
So are the Giants doing him wrong, or are the Giants doing him wrong?
They are the dum-dums of dum-dums.
I don't have a problem with the man getting his money.
Yeah,
DJ got his money.
You have mentioned $2 million about 10 times this podcast. Just
because
on this show.
because that's what's over Steve's head right now. That's what's doing it. Let's be serious. If you paid $2 million for a car, are you driving your work car every day? No, you're driving a $2 million car.
What's your moment? What's your lottery ticket for Notre Dame season?
If we win the Offensive Line of the Year award.
If Notre Dame wins the Offensive Line of the Year award, dude, they are beating teams by an average of 20.
Of 100 points. Yeah, that's the lottery.
Bro, Now that's a lottery ticket. That's a lot. The odds of that happening, that's a darn good lottery ticket. If Notre Dame winning the Joe Moore Award this year,
That's a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll be unstoppable.
that's a good
Unstoppable.
one. That's a good one. That's a heck of a lottery ticket, boy.
We will honestly be too good. We will be too good.
Yeah, that's a heck of a lottery ticket. I mean, the concept of winning the lottery with the odds of it happening, but it happens and you win.
With a young offensive line, quote unquote, winning the whole Joe Moore Award. That's saying something.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one. I don't see anybody in the chat. Did anybody in the chat put one out? Riley Leonard for Heisman. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I feel like we should be upset if we're spending money and not getting our money's worth.
What about one of the
would.
linebackers winning the buckets?
We've had that before, though.
That's true. That's true.
Couple times.
That's true.
And in back-to-back years, it felt like.
Yeah. That's true.
And we was getting high school buckets award winners. We done doubled up. Lord, they ain't good for that, man. Ty done got one. Jalen got one. Jeremiah done got one.
I got one. If Notre Dame can tally, let me find the right number. If Notre Dame tallies 35 sacks, if Notre Dame can tally 35 sacks, that's a lottery ticket.
Don't break it, baby, please.
That's a lottery ticket. 35 sacks left. If they get 35 sacks on defense, that's a lottery ticket.
35 sacks, wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
From 0 to 35?
0. So they had 0 sacks last year left.
That's what Marcus Freeman make it sound like.
You are coming in hot with the zingers today, boy.
I'm just saying.
You set that one up nicely. You set that one up nicely. You set that one up nicely. You set that up for Marcus Freeman. You are not going to let Coach, your fellow Dayton alum, off.
Because that's we don't even talk like that. Now that don't even, That's how Marcus Freeman made his money, getting sacks here and there.
You know what? Notre Dame had 31 sacks last year. I think I'm going to bump that up to 40.
The Eagles had 70.
Come on, the Eagles played 17 games, bro.
We'll play 15.
I'm looking at the stats right now. Notre Dame had 31 sacks last year. 31 recorded sacks.
We complained that is that average or what?
Dude, I'm trying to tally up. So you had 6 and 11, 13 and a half, 14, 15, 15 and a half. Only 16 and a half of those sacks came from the defensive line. So I need 35 sacks. I'll keep it at 35 sacks, but I need at least 20 of those minimum to come from the defensive line. 20. Because just barely over half of the sacks came from the defensive line last year.
How many did Georgia get that year with Jordan Davis and all them guys?
So that would be 2021. Left, this might mess you up. Give me a second. My computer all of a sudden wants to trip. Ooh, 49 left. 49 sacks next season. Almost 50 sacks.
That's not bad. We should shoot for that.
No, that type of talent, they don't have 50 sack type talent on the D line. Now, I love our defensive line, but you talking about one of the most legendary defensive lines? Nah, 50 left.
35 is we didn't even think we had sacks.
Dude, I'll stay with the 35 if the defensive line can increase the percentage of the sacks. I don't need half of my sacks coming from linebackers and defensive backs. I don't need that.
50 sacks, about 30 from the D line. 30, 35.
Oh, that's 60%, bro. Let me break down the percentage. Let me see how many that came from the defensive line for Georgia that year.
Isaiah Fauci had 15 in one season, right?
Yes.
So 3 other guys couldn't get 15.
Yeah, they were sitting around 60 plus percent. I don't have time.
Okay. Look, the numbers are right. Numbers are right.
Hey, I'm worried about the percentage. I need them to be over 60%. Whatever number they fall on. 35, 40.
Want pizza?
That's crazy. Indy Milk fan says his lottery ticket is 15 tackles for loss by Riley Mills. Yeah, Riley Mills has kind of whiffed on a lot of TFLs. That's like the next step for him. That's a good one, Indy Milk fan. That would be impact. I got John Massey. If Maris charges into a guard, 250. That was last year. Oh, yep. See, Justin. Hey, man, I was shocked to see 31. That's why my 35 prediction, I thought I was stepping it up like 10 to see they had 31, but over half, darn near half, came from the linebackers and defensive backs. You know, yeah, I expected a lot less. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, guys, man, we appreciate you guys for jumping on Impromptu Show. You can go listen to the podcast. It'll drop tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. over Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you came in late, patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Don't forget next Wednesday, that is the 28th. The 28th. The preview show for the 2024 season, players only. Malik is going to be hosting this show. I'll be producing from the background. And you're going to have Jerron Jones. You're going to have Shane Walton, Unc Reg, Oscar McBride. You're going to have a host of former Notre Dame players that are going to litter the post-game shows throughout the year. They're going to jump in and talk about the upcoming season. That's going to drop over on Patreon next Wednesday. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tapping in with us today. We'll see you guys on Monday after Marcus Freeman speaks to the media, previewing the matchup with the Texas A&M Aggies, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. When we see you guys next time, it'll be game week, baby. Game week.
Game week.
We can focus on Texas A&M. So for Left, Sean Davis, have a great weekend. But most of all, make sure that you continue to spin it
Different.
different. We'll see you guys on Monday, man.